The stars had never felt so hostile. Captain Alex Harlan gripped the controls of his battered shuttle, sweat beading on his forehead as alarms blared through the cockpit. The warp drive had failed mid-jump, spitting him out into uncharted space like a discarded toy. His ship, the Odyssey, was a relic from Earth's exploratory fleet, a sleek vessel designed for solo reconnaissance missions, but now it was tumbling toward a shimmering blue planet that wasn't on any star map. "Come on, hold together," he muttered, his voice rough from hours of isolation. The hull groaned under the strain of atmospheric entry, flames licking the viewport as gravity clawed him downward. He'd been out here for months, charting distant sectors for potential colonies, dreaming of the day he'd return home to a hero's welcome. But heroes didn't crash land on alien worlds. As the shuttle plummeted, Alex's mind raced through emergency protocols. Eject, too risky. Stabilize, the thrusters were fried. With a final, desperate maneuver, he fired the retro rockets, slowing the descent just enough to skim across a vast ocean before slamming into a forested shoreline. The impact rattled his bones, darkness swallowing him whole. When consciousness returned, it came in fragments, the scent of exotic flora, a cool breeze on his skin, and voices soft, melodic, undeniably feminine. Alex blinked against the sunlight filtering through canopy leaves, his body aching from the crash. He was alive somehow. Pushing himself up, he assessed the damage his flight suit torn, a gash on his arm seeping blood, but nothing fatal. The shuttle lay in ruins nearby, smoke curling from its engines. That's when he saw her. She emerged from the shadows like a vision from a fever dream, tall, graceful, with skin as pale as moonlight and hair cascading in waves of pure white. Her ears tapered to delicate points, like those of ancient elves in Earth's old myths, adding an ethereal charm to her striking features. She wore a flowing garment of iridescent fabric that hugged her curvaceous form, elegant yet revealing, as if designed to blend sensuality with regality. Her eyes, a vivid emerald, locked onto him with a mix of curiosity and wariness. "Are you a man?" she asked, her voice a harmonious lilt that carried an accent both alien and enchanting. The words hung in the air, laced with astonishment. Alex froze, his heart pounding. How did she know English? Or was it some universal translator glitch in his implant? He nodded slowly, pushing to his feet. "Yeah, I am. Name's Alex. Who are you? Where am I?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, her gaze swept over him, taking in his rugged build, the stubble on his jaw, the way his muscles tensed under the torn suit. A flush colored her cheeks, subtle but noticeable. Without warning, she stepped forward, her hand cool and soft, grabbing his wrist. "Come, quickly. They cannot find you here." Before he could protest, she pulled him into the underbrush, her strength surprising for her slender frame. Branches whipped past as they ran, her white hair streaming like a banner. Alex's mind reeled. Who was they? And why did she look at him like he was some forbidden treasure? They burst into a hidden glade, where a concealed entrance yawned in the side of a cliff, a seamless door of vines and stone that parted at her touch. Inside, the air grew warmer, infused with the hum of advanced technology blended with natural elements. Bioluminescent fungi lit the corridors, casting a soft glow on walls etched with intricate symbols. As they delved deeper, Alex caught glimpses of figures, all women, all sharing her ethereal beauty, white hair, pointed ears, curvaceous forms draped in similar attire. They moved with purpose, some tending to glowing consoles, others practicing graceful combat forms. Not a single male in sight. Zara, that was her name, she whispered as they hurried, led him to a chamber deep within the bunker-like structure. It was a sanctuary of sorts, vast and echoing, housing what seemed like hundreds of these alien women. They turned as one, eyes widening in shock and whispers rippling through the air like a wave. A man? Here? Impossible, the legends spoke of them. Zara positioned herself protectively in front of him, her voice firm. "He is no threat. I found him crashed on the shore. The invaders' patrols are closing in, we must hide him." Alex's pulse raced. Invaders, legends. He was a pilot, not some mythical figure. But the way they stared at him, with a hunger in their eyes that mixed awe and desire, made his skin tingle. Zara turned to him, her emerald gaze intense. "You are the first male our tribe has seen in centuries. Elysia is a world of women our kind reproduces through ancient rites, but males, they are stories from the stars. You must stay hidden, or the enemy will use you against us." As the chamber doors sealed behind them, Alex realized he was trapped in a paradise of forbidden allure. These women, isolated and powerful, saw him not as an intruder, but as a savior or perhaps something more intimate. The air thickened with unspoken possibilities, and in that moment, under Zara's protective gaze, Alex felt the pull of destiny, a cosmic thread binding him to this alien world. The bunker hummed with life, a subterranean city carved from crystal and vine. Zara guided Alex through winding passages, her hand lingering on his arm a fraction longer than necessary. Our tribe, the Elysians, has thrived without males since the Great Schism, she explained, her voice a soothing melody that eased his nerves. Wars drove them away, leaving us to evolve in harmony. But now, the Zarathians, brutal conquerors from the neighboring system, seek to claim our world. They hunt for any weakness. Alex nodded, absorbing the details. Earth had its own histories of division, but this was on a galactic scale. And me? How do I fit into this? She paused at a doorway, her eyes sparkling. You are different. Stronger than our tales described. Perhaps the stars sent you to aid us. Her fingers brushed his cheek, sending a shiver down his spine. The touch was electric, innocent yet charged with curiosity. Inside the chamber, a group of women awaited elders with wise, lined faces and younger ones whose gazes lingered appreciatively on his form. They offered him healing salves for his wounds, their hands gentle but exploratory, as if mapping an uncharted territory. Alex felt exposed, yet oddly empowered. These women, beautiful and fierce, treated him like a rare artifact, their whispers filled with wonder. As night fell on the surface above, though time blurred in the bunker, Zara led him to private quarters. The room was adorned with soft furs and glowing orbs, a bed that seemed to mold to the body. Rest here, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. But know this, our tribe values connection. In times of peril, we share bonds that strengthen us. Alex lay back, his mind swirling. The crash, the escape, Zara's touch, it all felt like a dream. But as sleep claimed him, he dreamed of emerald eyes and white hair, of a world where one man could change everything. He awoke to the sound of distant alarms, the bunker vibrating with urgency. Zara burst in, her elegant attire now augmented with lightweight armor that accentuated her curves. The Zarathians are near. Scouts report a raiding party closing on our position. Adrenaline surged through Alex. He wasn't trained for ground combat, his expertise was in the stars, but Earth's military background kicked in. What can I do? She hesitated, then handed him a sleek energy blade, its hilt humming in his grasp. Fight with us. Prove the legends true. They joined the defense line at the bunker's outer perimeter, a force of 1,000 women armed with plasma rifles and telekinetic shields. The Zarathians, hulking, armored brutes with red skin and glowing eyes, charged from the forest, their ships hovering overhead like vultures. The battle erupted in chaos. Blasts lit the night, the air crackling with energy. Alex dodged a laser bolt, his blade slicing through an attacker's armor with surprising ease. These things pack a punch, he shouted to Zara, who fought beside him, her movements a dance of lethal grace. She smiled amid the fray, her white hair whipping as she unleashed a burst of psychic energy, repelling a group of foes. You wield it like a born warrior. Humans, your kind has fire in the blood. Together, they pushed back the wave, Alex's ingenuity shining through. He rigged a makeshift EMP from scavenged shuttle parts, disabling the enemy ships in a spectacular cascade of sparks. The Zarathians retreated, howling in defeat. As the dust settled, the tribe gathered, cheers echoing through the halls. Zara pulled Alex aside, her body pressed close in the adrenaline-fueled aftermath. You saved us today. But this is only the beginning. Her lips brushed his ear, a promise of deeper connections to come. In that victory, Alex felt not just survival, but belonging, a man among goddesses, ready to rewrite the stars. The days blurred into a rhythm of preparation and intimacy. The bunker, once a mere shelter, became a hive of strategy sessions where Alex's human perspectives clashed and blended with Elysian wisdom. He taught them guerrilla tactics from Earth's history, adapting their psychic abilities to create ambushes that turned the tide in skirmishes. In return, they shared their lore tales of ancient starfarers who once roamed freely, before wars segregated the sexes. Zara was his constant companion, her presence a magnetic force. During quiet moments, they'd steal away to hidden alcoves, where the bioluminescent lights cast shadows that danced across her pale skin. Tell me of your world, she'd say, her fingers tracing patterns on his arm, igniting sparks of desire. Earth, it's chaotic, beautiful, oceans deeper than your forests, cities that touch the sky. But lonely sometimes." His voice softened, eyes meeting hers. She leaned in, her breath warm. "Here you need not be alone." Their conversations often veered into the personal, her curiosity about human anatomy leading to tentative explorations, touches that lingered, breaths that quickened. It was erotic in its innocence, a slow burn that built suspense with every glance. One evening, as they overlooked a holographic map of the planet, a scout reported an impending assault. Tension mounted, the air thick with anticipation. Zara's hand found his under the table, squeezing gently. "If we fall, I want no regrets." The attack came at dawn, fiercer than before. Zorathian dropships rained troops, their weapons scorching the earth. Alex led a counterstrike, his blade flashing alongside Zara's psychic blasts. In the heat of battle, he shielded her from a collapsing structure, his body taking the brunt. Pain flared, but her healing touch mended him swiftly, their bond deepening in the crucible of war. Back in the bunker, exhausted yet alive, Zara pulled him into her chambers. The door sealed, and in the dim light, she shed her armor, revealing the full allure of her form. "You risk everything for us. Let me show you our gratitude." Their embrace was tentative at first, exploratory, building to a crescendo of passion that echoed the star's vastness. It was a union of worlds, suspenseful in its novelty, erotic in its discovery. Yet, as they lay entwined, a distant rumble hinted at greater threats. The war was far from over, and secrets lurked in the shadows. The rumble grew louder, vibrating through the chamber walls like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Alex stirred, his body still humming from the intensity of their shared moment. Zara's warmth pressed against him in the dim glow of the room. She lifted her head from his chest, her emerald eyes narrowing as she listened. "That's no aftershock," she whispered, her voice a silken thread laced with urgency. "The Zorathians, they're probing our defenses again. Deeper this time." He sat up, muscles tensing, the afterglow of passion giving way to the sharp edge of reality. Zara's skin, pale and flawless, gleamed under the soft light, her white hair tousled in a way that made her look both vulnerable and fiercely alluring. She slipped from the bed with fluid grace, her curvaceous form moving like liquid silver as she donned her armor once more. The fabric clung to her, accentuating every curve, a reminder of the intimacy they'd just explored, a blend of curiosity and raw need that had left them both breathless. Alex reached for his own gear, pieced together from scavenged Elysian tech and remnants of his flight suit. "How close are they?" he asked, his hand brushing hers as he stood. The touch sent a lingering spark through him, a promise unfinished. "Too close," she replied, her pointed ears twitching slightly, attuned to frequencies he couldn't hear. "Our scouts detected seismic drills. They're burrowing toward the core tunnels. If they breach, the entire bunker could collapse." Her gaze met his, intense and probing, as if searching for the strength she'd glimpsed in him during the battle. "But you've already given us an edge. Your human ingenuity, it's like nothing we've known." They moved swiftly through the corridors, the air thick with the scent of blooming vines and the faint ozone tang of energy shields powering up. Women of the tribe nodded to them as they passed, their eyes lingering on Alex with a mix of respect and subtle hunger. He'd become more than a curiosity. In the heat of combat and the quiet moments after, he'd proven himself a catalyst, stirring something dormant in their isolated world. Zara led him to a hidden overlook, a balcony carved into the rock overlooking the vast central cavern where the heart of the tribe pulsed. Below, hundreds of Elysians prepared sharpening blades, calibrating psychic amplifiers, their bodies moving in synchronized drills that were as elegant as they were deadly. The sight stirred something primal in Alex, a reminder of how outnumbered he was in this sea of feminine power, yet how central he'd become. She pressed close to him in the shadows, her body heat radiating through the thin barrier of her attire. "Before we face them again," she murmured, her breath warm against his neck, "tell me what drives a human man like you." "In our legends, males are wanderers, conquerors of stars and hearts alike." Her fingers trailed lightly down his arm, tracing the contours of his muscles, igniting a slow fire that made it hard to focus on the impending threat. Alex turned to her, his hand cupping her cheek, feeling the soft taper of her ear under his thumb. "Survival, mostly, but also connection. Back on Earth, we fight for what we love." His voice dropped lower, husky with the memory of their earlier entanglement. "And right now, that's starting to include you in this place." Her lips parted, a soft gasp escaping as she leaned into his touch. The suspense hung between them like a charged field, the distant rumble a ominous underscore to their intimacy. Zara's eyes darkened with desire, her body arching subtly toward him. "Show me more of that fire, Alex. Our ways we bond to strengthen our resolve before battle. It weaves our energies together." Without another word, she pulled him into an alcove just off the balcony, concealed by cascading vines that glowed faintly in the low light. The space was intimate, barely enough room for two, forcing their bodies to press together in a tangle of limbs and fabric. Alex's heart raced as her hands explored him anew, peeling away layers with deliberate slowness. Her touch was exploratory, reverent, as if mapping a new constellation on his skin. He reciprocated, his fingers gliding over the smooth expanse of her back, feeling the subtle ridges where her alien physiology met human-like softness, curves that invited and challenged. The rumble intensified, a reminder that danger lurked just beyond their hidden sanctuary, but it only heightened the urgency. Zara's kisses were fervent, her lips tasting of sweet nectar from the planet's flora, her tongue dancing with his in a rhythm that mirrored the pulse of the bunker. She whispered ancient Elysian words against his ear, phrases that his translator rendered as invocations of unity, but their tone was unmistakably erotic, stirring him to depths he hadn't known. As their bodies intertwined once more, the world narrowed to sensations, the silk of her hair against his chest, the way her hips moved with an innate grace that spoke of centuries of evolution without male influence yet now craving it. Alex lost himself in the moment, his hands roaming freely, eliciting soft moans from her that echoed faintly in the alcove. It was a dance of suspense, each caress building tension, each breath a prelude to release, all while the ground trembled with the enemy's approach. But even in ecstasy, Zara's warrior instincts remained sharp. She paused, her body still entwined with his, head tilting as if catching a distant signal. "They're accelerating," she breathed, her voice a mix of pleasure and alarm. "We must rally the others." Alex nodded, pulling her closer for one final, lingering kiss that promised more. They disentangled reluctantly, the air between them crackling with unresolved energy. As they emerged from the alcove, flushed and invigorated, the tribe's eyes turned to them not with judgment, but with understanding. In Elysian culture, such bonds were sacred fuel for the fight ahead. Descending to the cavern floor, Alex felt a surge of purpose. The women formed ranks around him and Zara, their psychic links humming like a collective mind. Scouts reported in. The Zorathians had deployed burrowers' massive drill machines burrowing through the planet's crust, aiming to collapse the bunker's foundations. "We intercept them at the lower tunnels," Zara commanded, her voice steady, empowered by their shared intimacy. Alex suggested modifications to their defenses, drawing from Earth's mining tech he'd studied in academy days. "Rig the tunnels with feedback loops, use your psychic amps to overload their drills." The idea sparked excitement, the women adapting it swiftly, their admiration for him growing. As they ventured into the dim lower levels, the air grew cooler, damp with subterranean moisture. The group moved silently, Zara's hand occasionally brushing Alex's for reassurance. Tension built with every step, the erotic charge from earlier transforming into a focused adrenaline that made colors sharper, sounds more acute. Suddenly, the tunnel shook violently, debris raining from the ceiling. A burrower breached ahead, its metallic maw grinding through rock, spewing sparks and dust. Zorathian troops poured out, hulking figures in armored suits, weapons glowing with plasma fire. The clash was immediate and fierce. Zara unleashed a psychic wave, staggering the front line, while Alex charged forward, his energy blade humming. He parried a blow from a massive warrior, the impact jarring his arms, but he countered with a swift slash that breached the armor, blood thick and crimson spilled, the enemy roaring in pain. Around them, Elysians fought with balletic precision, their bodies twisting in ways that defied gravity, enhanced by their innate abilities. One woman, Mira, with hair like Zara's but eyes of sapphire, hurled kinetic bolts that exploded on impact. Another, Luna, weaved illusions to confuse the invaders, making shadows come alive. Alex dodged a laser blast, rolling behind a stalagmite, his breath coming in ragged bursts. Zara was at his side in an instant, her body shielding him momentarily as she repelled an attacker. Together, she urged, her touch on his shoulder reigniting that intimate spark amid the chaos. They pressed on, dismantling the burrower piece by piece. Alex climbed its side, exposed wiring sparking under his blade, while Zara coordinated psychic assaults to weaken its shields. The machine groaned, then exploded in a shower of debris, forcing the Zarathians to retreat into the tunnels. Victorious but weary, the group withdrew, sealing the breach with hastily erected barriers. Back in the main cavern, cheers erupted, but Zara pulled Alex aside once more, her eyes smoldering. "Your bravery, it stirs us all." Her fingers intertwined with his, a subtle promise of more stolen moments. Yet, as the adrenaline faded, a new alert chimed long-range sensors detecting a larger fleet approaching orbit. The suspense deepened, the erotic undercurrent of their bond now a lifeline against the encroaching storm. Alex realized this was no fleeting alliance, he was entwined in their fate, body and soul, with secrets yet to unfold in the heart of Elysia. In the quiet hours that followed, the bunker settled into a watchful hush. Zara and Alex retreated to her chambers again, the air heavy with the scent of victory and anticipation. She shed her armor slowly, each piece falling away like petals, revealing the elegant lines of her form. "The bond we share, it amplifies our strength," she explained, her voice a caress. "Let us deepen it before the next wave." Alex obliged, his hands exploring with growing confidence, learning the nuances of her alien yet familiar body, the way her skin warmed under his touch, the subtle glow that emanated from her when aroused. Their union was slower this time, suspenseful in its deliberation, each movement building layers of pleasure that mirrored the building threat outside. As they moved together, whispers of strategy mingled with sighs of ecstasy. "The fleet will need to strike their command ship," Alex murmured against her neck. Zara arched, her nails grazing his back. "Yes, but first, this." The world blurred, the rumble of distant engines a distant echo to their private symphony. When they finally parted, sated and renewed, Zara traced a symbol on his chest, a glowing rune that tingled with energy. "This marks you as one of us now. Protector, lover." Alex felt the power course through him, a subtle enhancement that sharpened his senses. But as alarms blared anew, signaling the fleet's descent, he knew the true test was coming, a battle that would demand everything, with their bond as the ultimate weapon. The erotic tension lingered, a thread weaving through the suspense, promising that survival would bring even greater depths to explore. The alarms pierced the air like a siren's wail, shattering the fragile cocoon of their intimacy and yanking Alex back into the vortex of war. Zara's rune on his chest pulsed with a warm glow, syncing his heartbeat to the bunker's frantic rhythm, as if the mark had woven him into the very fabric of Elysia. She rose swiftly, her naked form a silhouette of poised elegance in the chamber's dim light, slipping into her armor with the efficiency of a seasoned leader. Alex followed suit, his body still thrumming from their union, every nerve alive and heightened by the energy she'd imparted. "The fleet's here," she said, her voice steady but edged with the weight of command. "Orbital scans show at least a dozen cruisers, descending fast. They're not probing anymore, they mean to end us." He grabbed his energy blade, the hilt familiar now, almost an extension of his will. The rune enhanced his senses, he could hear the distant thunder of engines rumbling through the planet's atmosphere, feel the subtle vibrations in the stone floor. "Then we take the fight to them," Alex replied, his tone resolute, drawing on the unyielding spirit that had carried humanity through countless cosmic trials. Zara's emerald eyes met his, a flicker of something deeper than gratitude shining through admiration, perhaps, or the budding seeds of a bond that transcended species. They burst into the central cavern, where the tribe had already mobilized into a whirlwind of activity. Women dashed between stations, activating holographic displays that projected the invaders' formations in shimmering blue light. Mira, the sapphire-eyed warrior from the tunnel skirmish, coordinated shield arrays, her white hair tied back in a warrior's knot. Luna, the illusionist, wove deceptive fields around the bunker's exterior, masking their signatures from orbital scans. The air crackled with psychic energy, a collective hum that raised the hairs on Alex's arms. "Sisters," Zara called out, her voice echoing with authority. "The Zarathians come for our home, but they underestimate the fire we've ignited. With this human at our side, we turn the tide." Cheers erupted, fierce and unified, as eyes turned to Alex. He stood tall, feeling the weight of their gaze not as an outsider anymore, but as a beacon. The HFY tales from Earth's old forums flashed in his mind, humans as the ultimate survivors, adaptable and relentless. Here, amid these ethereal women, he embodied that legend, his mere presence a surprise that had already shifted the balance. But curiosity gnawed at him as they prepared. Why had the Elysians evolved without males? What ancient cataclysm had shaped this world? Zara had hinted at the Great Schism, but in stolen whispers during their intimacies, she'd revealed fragments, a viral plague engineered by rivals, wiping out males eons ago, forcing their society to adapt through genetic rites and cloning arts. Yet, his arrival stirred old prophecies of a star-fallen male who would restore equilibrium. Was he that, or just a lucky pilot in the wrong place? The first wave hit with dramatic fury. Orbital bombardments shook the planet, craters blooming on the surface like fiery wounds. The bunker held, its crystalline reinforcements absorbing the blasts, but cracks spiderwebbed across the walls. "They're landing troops," a scout shouted from her console. Holograms flared, showing drop pods streaking through the sky like meteors, disgorging hordes of Zarathian warriors, red-skinned behemoths clad in powered exosuits, armed with disruptor cannons that could vaporize stone. Zara led the counterassault, Alex by her side, a squad of elite Elysians flanking them. They emerged through a hidden egress into the forest, the canopy ablaze from stray plasma fire. The air reeked of ozone and charred wood, the ground trembling under the invaders' march. Flank left, Zara ordered, her psychic link coordinating the group seamlessly. Alex felt it too now, thanks to the rune, a faint telepathic thread, connecting him to the tribe, whispers of strategy flowing into his mind. The clash was thrilling, a symphony of chaos that tested every fiber of his being. Zarathians charged, their roars guttural and mechanical through vocal amplifiers. Alex dodged a sweeping cannon blast, the heat singeing his suit, and countered with a leaping strike. His blade pierced an exosuit's joint, sparks flying as the warrior crumpled. Beside him, Zara unleashed a psychic storm, lifting debris into a whirlwind that battered a squad, their armor crumpling like tin. "You're incredible," he gasped during a brief lull, wiping sweat from his brow. She flashed a smile, fierce and intoxicating. "As are you. Your endurance, it's intoxicating." But there was no time for more. A massive commander lumbered forward, twice the size of his troops, wielding a vibro axe that hummed with lethal energy. The ground quaked with each step, his eyes glowing with malevolent intelligence. The battle escalated to a fever pitch, dramatic spotlights of exploding pods illuminating the scene. Alex and Zara tag-teamed the commander, her psychic blasts weakening his shields while Alex exploited the gaps. He rolled under a sweeping blow, the axe embedding in a tree trunk with a thunderous crack. Springing up, he slashed at the commander's knee servos, eliciting a bellow of rage. Zara followed with a telekinetic push, toppling the giant. But as it fell, a hidden compartment burst open, releasing a swarm of drones, sleek, buzzing horrors armed with neurotoxins. Surprise hit like a gut punch. The drones targeted the Elysians' psychic links, disrupting their coordination. Screams echoed as women clutched their heads, illusions flickering out, shields failing. "What are these?" Alex yelled, swatting one away with his blade. Zara's face paled, a rare crack in her composure. "Neural jammers, new tech, they've evolved their weapons." Curiosity burned in her eyes even amid the panic. How had the Zarathians anticipated their defenses? Was there a traitor? Thrilling evasion turned the tide momentarily chaotic. Alex, immune to the psychic interference thanks to his human biology, became the anchor. He darted through the swarm, his movements a blur honed by Earth's zero-G training. One by one, he dismantled the drone's crushing circuits, severing wings, his rune-enhanced senses guiding him unerringly. "Rally to me," he shouted, his voice cutting through the din. The Elysians, recovering, reformed around him, their admiration turning to awe. But the climax built relentlessly. As the last drone fell, a shadow loomed overhead, a Zarathian cruiser descending through the clouds, its belly guns charging with an ominous whine. "They're glassing the area?" Mara warned, her voice laced with dread. Zara grabbed Alex's hand, her touch electric. "We can't outrun that, but perhaps together." Drawing on their bond, she channeled the tribe's collective energy through him, the rune blazing like a star. Power surged, curious and overwhelming, human resilience amplified by alien psi. He felt possibilities unfold. Could he redirect the blast? In a surprising twist, Alex visualized a deflection field, his mind merging with Zara's in a thrilling fusion of wills. They projected outward, a barrier shimmering into existence just as the cruiser fired. The plasma beam struck, bending around the shield in a spectacular arc, rebounding skyward to clip the ship's own engines. Explosions rippled across the hull, the vessel listing dangerously before crashing into the forest in a fireball that lit the night. The battlefield fell silent, save for the crackle of flames. Zorathians scattered, their assault broken. The tribe emerged victorious, but at a cost. Wounded sisters scorched earth. Zara collapsed against Alex, her body trembling from the exertion, her eyes wide with curiosity and surprise. How did you know to do that? Even our elders couldn't channel like that. He held her close, the drama of the moment etching itself into his soul. Human instinct, I guess. We adapt, improvise. But it was us together. Yet, as cheers rose, a holographic message flickered from the wrecked cruiser, a Zorathian warlord's face sneering. This is not over, Star Child. We know your secret now. What secret? The question hung, thrilling and ominous, curiosity peaking as survivors gathered debris. Among the wreckage, Alex spotted a data core glowing with encrypted files. This could change everything, he murmured, pocketing it. Zara nodded, her hand in his, the bond deeper, the war far from won. The victory's aftershocks rippled through the bunker, Elysians tending wounds with salves that glowed like captured starlight. Alex and Zara retreated to a strategy alcove, the data core humming between them. As she interfaced with it using her psychic touch, revelations unfolded, dramatic logs of Zorathian espionage, hinting at an inside betrayal. One of us? Zara whispered, her voice cracking with betrayal's sting. Thrilling possibilities swirled, a mole in the tribe feeding intel. Who? The curious hunt began, suspicions casting shadows over allies. Mira? Luna? Or someone closer? Surprises mounted as the core revealed more, a map to a hidden Elysian artifact, a weapon from the Schism era that could end the war. We must retrieve it, Alex urged, his human drive for action igniting the room. But danger loomed. Scouts reported reinforcements massing. The climax beckoned, a thrilling race against time, with bonds tested and secrets unraveling. As they prepared for the quest, Zara pulled him into a fierce embrace, her curves pressing against him in a moment of raw vulnerability. Whatever comes, you're my anchor. The air thickened with unspoken desires, the erotic undercurrent a thrilling counterpoint to the drama. Venturing out at dawn, the group, Alex, Zara, and a select few, navigated treacherous canyons, the artifact's location a glowing beacon in the core's data. Ambush struck midway, Zorathians emerging from cloaked positions, weapons blazing. The fight was visceral, dramatic leaps over chasms, psychic duels clashing with brute force. Alex saved Luna from a sniper's shot, earning her undying loyalty, while Zara dismantled a hover tank with a focused psi blast. Reaching the artifact's vault, a crystalline spire buried in ancient ruins, the surprise hit. It wasn't a weapon, but a genetic repository, holding the key to restoring males to Elysia. This is our future, Zara breathed, eyes wide. But the warlord arrived, his flagship blocking the sun. The repository is mine, he boomed, troops descending. The ultimate climax erupted, a thrilling melee amid crumbling ruins. Alex activated the artifact instinctively, its energy surging through him, enhancing the tribe's powers tenfold. Surprising twists, the mole revealed as a coerced elder, redeemed in a sacrificial stand. Zara and Alex stood back to back, their bond a fortress. With a final dramatic push, they overloaded the warlord's suit, his defeat a spectacular implosion. As dust settled, curiosity bloomed anew. What now for Elysia? Alex held Zara, the thrilling victory opening doors to uncharted passions and alliances. Yet, a faint signal from the artifact whispered of greater threats, galactic empires watching. The drama lingered, surprising horizons beckoning. As the echoes of the warlord's defeat faded into the ruins, a hushed awe settled over the group. The crystalline spire of the vault humming softly like a living entity awakened after centuries of slumber. Alex stood there, chest heaving, his hand still clasped in Zara's, the artifact's energy lingering in his veins like a warm current that made every sensation more vivid. The genetic repository pulsed with an inner light, its surfaces etched with holographic projections of long-lost Elysian males, ghostly figures that danced in the air, a poignant reminder of what had been stolen from this world. Zara's emerald eyes widened, reflecting the glow, her pointed ears twitching as if straining to hear whispers from the past. This isn't just salvation, she murmured, her voice thick with emotion. It's rebirth. With this, we could heal the schism, bring balance back to our kind. But drama has a way of crashing in uninvited, and no sooner had the words left her lips than the ground trembled anew, not from aftershocks, but from something far more sinister. Alarms blared from their comm devices, synced to the bunker's network, piercing the moment like a rude interruption at a wedding. Luna, still catching her breath from the fight, glanced at her holographic wrist display, her face paling beneath her white hair. Incoming transmission from the Zarathian High Command. They're demanding parley, and they've got hostages, our outer scouts. Alex's stomach twisted. Hostages. The victory soured instantly, the thrill of triumph giving way to a heightened dread that clawed at his insides. He exchanged a glance with Zara, her curvaceous form tense in her battle-worn armor, the elegant fabric torn in places that revealed glimpses of her pale skin, a stark contrast to the chaos around them. "We can't trust them," he said, his voice low, but the rune on his chest flared, amplifying his resolve through their bond. But ignoring it could mean more blood. The group hurried back through the canyons, the artifact secured in a psychic-shielded container that Mira carried like a sacred relic. The journey was fraught with tension, every shadow in the dramatic landscape seeming to hide potential ambushes, towering rock formations that loomed like judgmental giants, winds howling through narrow passes as if mourning the dead. Alex's mind raced, piecing together the warlord's final words, "We know your secret now." What secret? The repository? Or something more personal, tied to his human origins? Back at the bunker, the central cavern buzzed with frantic energy, Elysians clustering around holographic screens that projected the Zarathian message. The High Commander's face filled the display, a grizzled, red-skinned brute named Vargas, his eyes like burning coals, scars crisscrossing his face in a map of old battles. "Elysians," he growled, his voice booming through the speakers. "You've slain my kin, but the war ends today. Surrender the star-fallen male and the artifact, or your scouts die slowly." The feed cut to a grim scene: 3 Elysian women bound in energy chains aboard a Zarathian ship, their white hair disheveled, faces bruised but defiant. Drama escalated like a storm building on the horizon. Zara stepped forward, her leadership shining through the panic, but Alex could feel her turmoil through their link, a swirl of fear, anger, and something vulnerable that made his heart ache. "We negotiate," she declared to the tribe. "But on our terms. Prepare the defenses for betrayal." As preparations unfolded, awkward situations began to weave themselves into the fabric of the crisis, lightened by unexpected humor that cut through the tension like a badly timed joke. Alex found himself in a strategy session with Zara and the elders, maps sprawling across a glowing table. One elder, an ancient woman named Ilan with wrinkles like river valleys on her pale skin, eyed him curiously. "This human, does he possess the necessary vigor to activate the repository? Our rites require compatibility." She gestured vaguely at his form, her pointed ears flushing pink. Alex blinked, caught off guard, heat rising to his cheeks. "Wait, what? Compatibility as in?" He trailed off, glancing at Zara, who suppressed a smile, her emerald eyes twinkling with mischief amid the drama. Elen nodded solemnly. "Precisely. The artifact bonds genetically. We must test if your essence aligns." The room fell into an awkward silence, broken only by Luna snickering from the corner. "Oh stars, it's like watching a bad holodrama. Human, prove your manhood." Zara cleared her throat, her hand brushing Alex's under the table, a subtle, erotic reminder of their earlier connections that sent a shiver through him. "Ilan means no offense. Our ways are direct." But the humor lingered, diffusing the mounting pressure. Even Mira chuckled, her sapphire eyes rolling. "Just don't faint, Starman. We've got a war to win first." The parley was set for neutral ground, a dramatic plateau overlooking a vast chasm, where swirling mists added an air of mystery and peril. Alex, Zara, and a small escort arrived under a tense truce, the wind whipping their hair as Zarathian shuttles landed opposite. Vargas emerged, flanked by guards, his massive frame dwarfing them. Up close, he was even more imposing, his armor etched with trophies from conquered worlds. "You bring the mail," Vargas sneered, his gaze locking on Alex with predatory interest. "The one who defiles your pure society. Hand him over, and we withdraw." Zara stood tall, her gowned armor hugging her curves like a second skin, exuding regal defiance. "He is no prisoner. He is our ally, our future." The words carried weight, heightening the drama as thunder rumbled in the distance, as if the planet itself protested. Alex stepped forward, channeling his inner human bravado. "And if you think I'm some trophy, think again. Earth's got a history of turning the tables on bullies like you. But internally, curiosity burned. Why him specifically? The secret nagged, a thread pulling at the edges of the mystery. Vargas laughed, a guttural sound that echoed across the plateau. Foolish primate, we intercepted your ship's logs during your crash. You're not just any human, you carry experimental nanites from your Earth's labs, designed for genetic adaptation. Combined with the repository, it could breed an army. Our army. The revelation hit like a plasma bolt, surprising everyone. Alex's mind reeled. He'd forgotten about the nanites, a classified upgrade for deep space pilots, meant to help adapt to alien environments. Awkward realization dawned. His human ingenuity wasn't all natural, it was augmented. Zara's eyes widened, a mix of betrayal and intrigue flashing across her face. You didn't mention this, he stammered, the situation turning comically awkward amid the high-stakes standoff. I didn't think it was relevant. It's like space vitamins. With benefits. Luna, hidden in the escort, muffled a laugh, whispering just loud enough. Benefits? Stars, is that what humans call it? Vargas seized the moment, his guards advancing. Enough talk, surrender, or... Drama peaked as betrayal unfolded. One of the hostages, revealed on a hovering drone feed, wasn't a scout but the redeemed elder from earlier, her sacrifice a ruse to draw them out. No, wait, the feed glitched, showing the hostages breaking free internally, a surprise counterstrike orchestrated via psychic links. Now, Zara shouted, her voice cutting through the wind. The plateau erupted into thrilling chaos. Zorathians charged, but the Elysians unleashed hidden traps, psychic mines that disoriented the enemy, causing them to stumble comically into the chasm's edge. One guard teetered, arms windmilling like a cartoon character, before plummeting with a yell. Alex couldn't help a grin. Gravity's a bitch, huh? He dove into the fray, his blade clashing with Vargas's axe in a dramatic duel that heightened every sense. Sparks flew, the nanites surging, enhancing his speed to match the brute's strength. Zara supported from afar, her psychic blasts weakening Vargas's armor, but an awkward mishap occurred. A stray bolt hit a rock formation, causing a landslide that buried Alex momentarily under debris. Alex, Zara cried, drama lacing her voice as she rushed forward. He emerged dusty but unharmed, coughing. I'm good, just redecorating. The humor broke the tension, even as Vargas roared and swung wildly. In a surprising twist, Alex used the nanites consciously for the first time, adapting his physiology mid-fight to counter Vargas's toxins, his skin hardening like armor. The warlord faltered, eyes widening. What sorcery is this? Human science, Alex quipped, disarming him with a flourish. But the drama wasn't over. Vargas triggered a self-destruct on his shuttle, forcing a frantic evacuation. The explosion lit the plateau, sending shockwaves that cracked the ground. As they regrouped in the bunker, hostages safe and Vargas captured, awkward conversations loomed. Zara pulled Alex aside, her body close, the erotic pull undeniable despite the dirt and exhaustion. Those nanites, they make you more than human? He shrugged, a sheepish smile breaking through. Guess I'm a walking science project. But hey, it saved the day. Does that earn me a pass? She laughed softly, the sound like music easing the drama. Perhaps, but next time full disclosure, no more surprises. Yet, as they activated the repository that night, merging his nanites with its ancient tech, curiosity sparked anew. The process was intimate, requiring a ritual bond that blended science and sensuality. Zara's hands on him, energy flowing in waves that heightened every touch. Awkward at first with elders watching, but humor crept in when a holographic male figure glitched, striking a ridiculous pose. Looks like your ancestors had a sense of rhythm, Alex joked, drawing chuckles. The repository hummed to life, promising new generations. But a faint signal from deep space flickered, greater empires stirring, drawn by the artifact's activation. Drama simmered, awkward alliances formed, and humor lightened the load as Elysia stood on the brink of change. In the days that followed, the bunker transformed from fortress to cradle of hope. Alex trained with the tribe, his nanites sinking deeper, leading to awkward moments like accidentally amplifying a psychic link during a sparring match, broadcasting his admiration for Zara's form to the entire group. Oops, he muttered as blushes spread. Human error. Zara teased him mercilessly, her curves brushing against him in accidental bumps during strategy sessions. Careful, Starman. Your thoughts are louder than Vargas's roars. The humor bonded them closer, but drama loomed with intercepted transmissions, a galactic coalition eyeing Elysia as a threat. "They're coming," Mira warned, heightening the stakes. Alex and Zara stole moments amid the preparations, their intimacies laced with urgency, bodies entwining in hidden alcoves, the rune's glow illuminating their passion. "If this is the end," she whispered, her breath hot against his skin, "make it memorable." He obliged, humor sneaking in when a vine tangled them mid-embrace. "Nature's way of saying slow down," he quipped, untangling with a laugh. As scouts reported the coalition's fleet on approach, the tribe rallied, the repository birthing the first hybrid prototypes, infant forms in gestation pods, a surprising blend of human resilience and Elysian grace. "Our legacy," Zara said, her hand on Alex's, drama and hope intertwining. But Vargas, in his cell, smirked through the bars. "You think this ends with me? The Empires know your secret, and they'll burn it all." The words chilled, heightening the impending climax. Awkward questions arose: was Alex a savior or a catalyst for doom? Humor faded as preparations intensified, but in Zara's arms he found strength. The fleet arrived at dusk, shadows lengthening dramatically across the planet. Sirens wailed and Alex stood ready, blade in hand, the nanites humming. "Let's show them what humans and Elysians can do," he said, a grin masking the fear. Zara kissed him fiercely. Together. The battle would be legendary, fraught with drama, surprises, and perhaps a dash of awkward luck. The sirens' wail crescendoed into a symphony of urgency, pulling Alex and Zara from their fierce kiss as the bunker's lights flickered to emergency red, casting dramatic shadows across the cavern walls. The coalition fleet's approach was no longer a distant threat, but an imminent storm, their massive ships blotting out the stars in the orbital feeds displayed on every holographic screen. Zara's body lingered against his for a heartbeat longer, her curves a warm anchor in the chaos, before she pulled back with a determined glint in her emerald eyes. "We have mere hours before they breach atmosphere," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in the air. "The repository's hybrids are accelerating in the pods, but we need every edge. Our bond, it could be the key to sinking the tribe's power fully." Alex nodded, his pulse racing not just from the impending battle, but from the electric pull between them, amplified by the nanites and her rune. The awkward revelations about his enhancements had faded into the background, replaced by a shared resolve laced with that undercurrent of humor. They'd laughed off the glitches and mishaps, turning potential rifts into stronger ties. Now, as Elysians rushed to fortify positions, arming psychic amplifiers and deploying drone swarms, Zara took his hand and led him through a side passage to a secluded chamber, one reserved for the tribe's most sacred rites. "Before we face them, we strengthen our connection," she explained, her pointed ears flushing slightly, a subtle sign of the intimacy she proposed. "It's an ancient ritual, blending minds and bodies to forge unbreakable unity. With your human essence, it could awaken potentials we've only dreamed of." The chamber was a haven of tranquility amid the storm, walls lined with soft, glowing vines that pulsed like veins, filling the air with a soothing, floral scent that eased the tension in his muscles. A central platform, cushioned with iridescent fabrics that shimmered under the low light, invited them like a promise. Alex felt a mix of anticipation and vulnerability as Zara closed the door, sealing them in privacy. Her armor came off piece by piece, revealing the elegant lines of her pale skin, her white hair cascading freely over her shoulders. She moved with a grace that was both commanding and inviting, her form a masterpiece of curves that spoke of strength and softness in equal measure. "Let go of the battle for now," she whispered, her fingers tracing the rune on his chest, sending waves of warmth through him. "Here, we build our power together." He followed her lead, shedding his gear until they stood bare before each other, the air charged with a palpable energy that made every brush of skin feel like sparks. Zara guided him to the platform, their bodies aligning in a slow, deliberate embrace that started with tender explorations, her hands mapping the contours of his back, his fingers weaving through her hair, feeling the delicate points of her ears that quivered at his touch. The ritual began as a dance of closeness, their breaths syncing, hearts beating in rhythm. She pressed against him, her warmth enveloping him in a way that blurred the lines between affection and deeper union, each movement building a gentle intensity that left them both breathless. As they connected more fully, the sensations deepened, a harmonious blend of emotion and physicality that felt like floating through stars. Zara's body responded to his with an innate curiosity, her curves yielding and asserting in turns, creating a symphony of shared pleasure that echoed through their linked minds. The nanites hummed within him, enhancing every caress, every whispered endearment, turning the experience into something transcendent, waves of bliss that rolled through them like cosmic tides. She arched into him, her emerald eyes locking with his, conveying trust and desire without words, as they moved together in a rhythm that was instinctive, passionate, yet respectful of their world's differences. It was a celebration of unity, where awkward moments from earlier battles melted away, replaced by a profound intimacy that strengthened their resolve. Time seemed to stretch in that sacred space, their union peaking in a crescendo of shared ecstasy that left them trembling, entwined in a glow of afterglow. The rune's light intensified, spreading through the vines around them, as if the chamber itself approved. Zara rested her head on his chest, her white hair splayed like a halo, her voice a soft murmur. "Feel it? Our energies are one now. The tribe will draw from this your human vitality, my Elysian spirit." Alex held her close, his body relaxed yet invigorated, the intimacy forging a bond that felt unbreakable. But the sirens outside reminded them of the world beyond, pulling them back gently. They dressed in silence, stolen glances and soft smiles adding a layer of tenderness to the moment. As they emerged, the tribe sensed the shift, eyes turning to them with renewed hope, the awkward humor from before now a fond memory that lightened the drama. Mira approached, a knowing grin on her face. "The coalition won't know what hit them. You too radiate power." The preparations intensified, the bunker a hive of activity, as Elysians integrated the repositories, emerging hybrids into defense simulations, small, ethereal forms in protective cradles, their potential already humming with mixed genetics. Alex suggested tactical tweaks, his nanites allowing him to interface directly with the psychic networks, creating hybrid strategies that blended human ingenuity with alien grace. Zara coordinated seamlessly, her presence beside him a constant source of strength, their recent closeness evident in the fluid way they anticipated each other's thoughts. But drama heightened as the first coalition probes pierced the atmosphere, sleek fighters testing shields with pinpoint strikes. Explosions rocked the surface, debris raining like meteors, forcing the tribe to activate countermeasures. In the command center, holograms flared with enemy positions, a vast armada from multiple empires, drawn by the artifact signal, viewing Elysia as a threat to galactic balance. Vargas, still in his cell, cackled through the intercom. "Your little ritual won't save you. They're here for the power you unleashed." Zara silenced him with a psychic pulse, but his words lingered, adding awkward tension had their intimacy inadvertently amplified the signal. Alex pushed the doubt aside, focusing on the fight. "We use it against them. Channel the repository through the shields." The battle erupted in full force. Coalition dropships swarming like locusts, disgorging troops from diverse species, tentacled strategists from Nethuria, armored behemoths from Xandor, sleek androids from Velquar. The Elysians met them head-on, psychic waves clashing with energy beams in a thrilling display of light and sound. Alex fought alongside Zara, their bond allowing telepathic coordination. He dodged a blast she foresaw, countering with a nanite-enhanced strike that disrupted an android's circuits. Awkward humor surfaced amid the chaos when a tentacled foe slipped on vine residue, tumbling comically into a chasm. "Slippery when wet?" Luna quipped over the comms, drawing chuckles that bolstered morale. But the drama pressed on, a coalition commander broadcasting demands for surrender, revealing surveillance footage of the repository's activation, exposing Alex's role. Surprise twisted the knife. The footage included glimpses of their ritual chamber, blurred but suggestive, heightening the stakes. "They spied on us?" Zara gasped, her cheeks flushing even in battle. Alex grinned fiercely, blade flashing. "Let them watch. It'll be their last show." They pushed deeper into the fray, the hybrid's pods integrated into mobile units, emitting pulses that amplified Elysian abilities. One pod, linked to Alex's nanites, created a feedback loop that overloaded a dropship, sending it crashing in a spectacular fireball. The coalition faltered, retreats sounding, but a massive flagship loomed, its cannons charging for a planetary strike. In a climactic push, Zara and Alex channeled their unified energy through the repository, creating a dome shield that absorbed the blast, rebounding it skyward. The flagship buckled, explosions rippling across its hull, debris streaking like shooting stars. As the fleet withdrew, battered and humbled, cheers echoed through the bunker. Zara pulled Alex into an embrace, their bodies fitting perfectly, the intimacy of before now a foundation for peace. "We did it," she breathed, her curves pressing against him in victory's warmth. Yet, curiosity lingered. The Empire's retreat felt too swift. Scanners picked up a lingering probe, transmitting data to unknown coordinates. "They're not done," Mira warned. Alex held Zara tighter, the bond unbreakable. "Then we'll be ready." Together. In the aftermath, the tribe celebrated with feasts of exotic fruits and luminous wines, awkward dances blending Elysian grace with Alex's human improvisation, leading to laughter-filled stumbles. Zara and he stole away again, their closeness evolving into a routine of shared moments, gentle explorations that deepened their connection without the urgency of war. But as hybrids emerged from pods, tiny beings with white hair and human resilience, drama simmered. One infant grasped Alex's finger, eyes glowing with potential. "Our future," Zara said, her hand on his. Vargas, reformed under psychic influence, offered intel on the Empire's plans. "They fear your hybrids. An alliance of worlds is forming against you." The revelation heightened everything, awkward alliances proposed with former foes. Humor crept in during negotiations, Alex's Earth idioms confusing delegates, "Let's not count our chickens before they hatch." Blank stares, then Zara's translation sparking chuckles. As Elysia rebuilt, Alex and Zara's bond blossomed, their private times a blend of passion and planning, bodies uniting in ways that fueled strategies, always with that respectful intimacy. One night, under the stars, they lay together, her head on his chest. "What if we explore beyond?" she mused. He smiled. "With you anywhere." The universe beckoned, full of drama, surprises, and endless possibilities. The universe's call felt like a distant whisper in the quiet aftermath, but as Alex and Zara lay under the canopy of stars that night, the vastness above them seemed to hold its breath, pregnant with secrets yet to unfold. The hybrid's gentle coos from the nearby gestation chambers blended with the soft rustle of Elysia's winds, a lullaby of new beginnings that lulled the tribe into a tentative peace. Zara's body nestled against his, her pale skin warm from their shared warmth, her white hair tickling his neck as she traced lazy patterns on his chest where the runes still glowed faintly. Exploring beyond, she echoed her earlier words, her voice a melodic sigh. "With you it doesn't seem so daunting. Earth, the coalitions, even the empires, we could face them all." Alex smiled into the darkness, his arm tightening around her curves, feeling the steady rise and fall of her breath. The intimacy they'd cultivated wasn't just physical, it had woven into something profound, a partnership that made the stars feel conquerable. But as sleep tugged at him, a faint hum disrupted the serenity, not from the bunker, but from within. The nanites in his blood stirred, a subtle vibration that he'd attributed to the repository's integration. He dismissed it as fatigue, letting his eyes close, unaware that the whisper was about to become a roar. Dawn broke with a deceptive calm, the planet's dual suns casting a golden hue over the forested horizon as the tribe stirred to life. Elysians moved with renewed purpose, tending to the hybrids who were growing at an accelerated rate, small beings with eyes that sparkled like Zara's, their tiny hands grasping at the air with a curiosity that mirrored human infants. Alex joined Zara in the central cavern, where Mira and Luna oversaw the integration of the repository's tech into the bunker's systems, creating adaptive shields that pulsed with hybrid energy. "These little ones are already contributing," Mira said, her sapphire eyes alight with wonder as she adjusted a console. "Their genetics, it's like they've inherited your adaptability, Alex. No more vulnerabilities to psychic jammers." He nodded, pride swelling in his chest, but that hum returned, sharper now, like a message trying to break through static. Zara noticed his distraction, her hand slipping into his. "What's troubling you?" "The Empire's probe." Before he could respond, Vargas's voice crackled over the intercom from his cell, no longer mocking but edged with urgency. The reformed Zorathian, his red skin paler from confinement, had been providing intel under psychic compulsion, but this transmission was unsolicited. "Elysians, human, you must listen. The signal from the repository isn't what you think. It's a beacon, yes, but not just for empires. It's calling something older. Something from the schism itself." Drama stirred like a gathering storm, the cavern falling silent as heads turned. Zara's grip tightened, her pointed ears perking up. Explain yourself, prisoner. We've scanned the emissions, it's genetic data, nothing more. Vargas's holographic image flickered, his scarred face twisting. Fools. My people uncovered archives during our raids. The schism wasn't a plague, it was a seal. Your ancestors locked away a threat, an entity that fed on genetic diversity, twisting males into monstrosities. The repository isn't a vault of hope, it's a key. And your union with the human, it's unlocked the door. The words hung heavy, but skepticism rippled through the tribe. Luna laughed nervously, trying to inject humor. Next he'll say the stars are made of cheese. He's stalling for rescue. But Alex felt a chill, the nanites buzzing insistently now, as if corroborating the tale. He pulled Zara aside to a quiet alcove, the same one where they'd shared stolen moments, but now the vines seemed to watch them. What if there's truth to it? My nanites, they're reacting. Like they're detecting something inbound. Her emerald eyes searched his, a flicker of doubt crossing her features for the first time. Our legends speak of the Devourer, a myth to scare children. A cosmic parasite that consumed worlds by corrupting life from within. But if it's real, she trailed off, her body pressing close for comfort, the familiar curves a reminder of what they'd built. They decided to investigate, delving into the repository's core data with Mira's help. As holograms unfolded ancient records, the truth emerged in fragments. The schism had indeed been engineered, not by rivals, but by the Elysians themselves to quarantine the Devourer, an extra-dimensional being that infiltrated genetics, mutating hosts into extensions of itself. The males hadn't died, they'd been sacrificed to contain it, their essence locked in the artifact as a barrier. Activating it with Alex's nanites, human tech, unbound by Elysian safeguards, had cracked the seal. Surprise built like a wave, but the powerful twist crashed down when the hum in Alex's veins escalated to a voice. Not audible, but internal, echoing in his mind *host acquired. Integration commencing *, his vision blurred, nanites swarming visibly under his skin like glowing veins, reshaping him from within. Zara stepped back, horror dawning. Alex, what's happening? He staggered, clutching his head as memories flooded not his own, but the Devourer's eons of hunger, devouring civilizations across galaxies, dormant until the repository's call. The twist deepened, the nanites weren't just enhancements, they'd been a Trojan horse. Earth's labs had encountered the Devourer's remnants in deep space, incorporating them unwittingly into the tech. Alex's crash on Elysia wasn't accident, it was orchestrated by the entity, guiding him here to breach the final barrier. No, he gasped, fighting the intrusion, his body convulsing as tendrils of energy snaked from the rune, the bond with Zara now a conduit for corruption. The tribe rushed in, alarms blaring as the bunker shook not from external attack, but from rifts opening in the air, shadowy forms emerging like wisps of nightmare. Zara grabbed him, her psychic energy flaring to stem the flow. Fight it, your stronger human will, remember? But the surprise twisted further, the hybrids stirred in their pods, their eyes opening with an unnatural glow, the Devourer spreading through the genetic link. One infant reached out, its tiny hand morphing into a tendril that latched onto Mira, who screamed as mutations began. Chaos erupted, Elysians battling the emerging entities, amorphous blobs that absorbed matter, reshaping it into grotesque hybrids. Luna wove illusions to confuse them, but the Devourer adapted, piercing veils with psychic screams. Alex, locked in internal war, glimpsed the entity's plan: use Elysia as a nexus to spread across the galaxy, consuming empires one by one. In a desperate bid, he drew on their bond, reversing the flow, pushing human resilience back through the rune. Zara, link the tribe, overload it. Her tears fell as she complied, the cavern filling with a collective sigh surge. The twist peaked when Vargas broke free, not to escape, but to aid his Zarathian biology resistant. He smashed a rift closed with brute force. I owe you for showing mercy, he growled, a surprising ally in the fray. Alex's body burned, nanites warring with the intruder, but a breakthrough came. The Devourer revealed its weakness, pure genetic diversity overwhelmed it. The hybrids, he realized. They're the key, not to spread it, but to dilute it. Zara commanded the tribe to channel through the pods, flooding the entity with unfiltered life essence. The surprise reversed, the Devourer shrieked, its forms dissolving as diversity proved toxic. Alex collapsed, the nanites purging the last traces, his vision clearing to Zara's face above him. The bunker stabilized, rifts sealing, but the twist lingered. Elysia forever changed. The Devourer not destroyed but fragmented, lurking in shadows. Vargas, redeemed, offered truce. Your world birthed this horror. Mine will help contain it. As Alex rose holding Zara, curiosity burned. Was the entity truly gone, or had it seated itself in him? The bond pulsed, reassuring, but a faint hum remained, a surprise echo, promising more twists in the stars. The recovery was swift, Elysians adapting with their grace, hybrids emerging unscathed, their glow now protective. Alex and Zara stole moments amid rebuilding, their intimacy a bomb, bodies entwining with renewed passion, the runes light a beacon of hope. We survived the unspeakable, she whispered, her curves molding to him. But scouts reported anomalies, distant systems flickering out, empires vanishing. The Devourer's fragments were spreading. Drama mounted as alliances formed, Zarathians joining Elysians, Vargas at the helm. Alex proposed a quest: hunt the shards using the repository as a tracker. We'll take the fight to it. Zara agreed, her hand on his. Together, always. They launched into the void, ship humming with hybrid tech, the twist evolving into legend. Surprises awaited, betrayals, discoveries, but their bond endured. In quiet hyperspace they connected again, exploring each other with tender urgency, the stars witnessing. What if it's in me? He asked. She kissed him deeply. Then we'll face it. You're my human, my everything. The journey unfolded, full of thrilling unknowns, the powerful twist a catalyst for greater tales. The journey's first leap into hyperspace felt like diving into an endless ocean of swirling colors, the ship's engines humming with a steady thrum that vibrated through the deck plates and into Alex's bones. Zara stood beside him on the bridge, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder, a silent affirmation of their unbreakable bond as stars stretched into streaks outside the viewport. The vessel, a sleek hybrid of Elysian crystal tech and Zorathian brood engineering, courtesy of their uneasy alliance with Vargas, carried a mixed crew: Elysians like Mira and Luna, a handful of reformed Zorathians grumbling in their deep voices, and the first wave of hybrids, now toddlers accelerated by the repository's magic, their wide eyes taking in the cosmos with innocent wonder. We've charted the first shard signal to the nebula veil, Zara said, her emerald gaze fixed on the holographic map flickering before them, a dense cloud of gas and debris, perfect hiding spot for remnants of the Devourer. Alex nodded, his nanites settling into a calm buzz after the purge, but the faint hum lingered like a ghost in his system, a reminder that the entity might not be fully exorcised. Drama had become their constant companion, each jump carrying the weight of galactic stakes. If the shards reformed, the Devourer could consume entire systems. Yet, in this moment of transit, a fragile camaraderie bloomed. Vargas lumbered onto the bridge, his red-skinned bulk filling the space, a makeshift uniform straining against his muscles. Your puny ship handles like a drunk beast, he grunted, but there was a grudging respect in his tone, born from the bunker's chaos where he'd turned ally. As the ship exited hyperspace, the nebula veil unfurled like a cosmic curtain, swirling purples and blues laced with asteroid fields that glittered ominously. Sensors pinged immediately, irregular energy signatures pulsing from a derelict station orbiting a rogue planetoid. That's it, Mira confirmed, her sapphire eyes narrowing at the console. The shards embedded in the ruins, but scans show life signs, scavengers perhaps. Or worse. Drama heightened as they approached, the station's hulking form resolving into a twisted amalgamation of metal and organic growths, tendrils snaking across its hull like veins. Alex suited up for the boarding party, his energy blade at his side, Zara mirroring him in her form-fitting armor that hugged her curves with elegant lethality. Vargas insisted on joining, his massive axe gleaming. If it's Devourer spawn, I'll crush it personally. The hybrids stayed aboard under Luna's watch, their tiny forms buzzing with excitement. One little one, a boy with white hair and Alex's determined chin, toddled over and hugged his leg. Be careful, father figure, the child said in a voice far too articulate for his age, drawing chuckles from the crew. The shuttle docked with a clang, atmosphere hissing as they breached the station's airlock. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the metallic tang of decay, corridors lit by flickering emergency lights that cast long shadows. Zara's psychic senses flared. It's here, feeding on residual energy. But those life signs, they're human. Or were. They advanced cautiously, boots echoing on grated floors, tension coiling like a spring. Around a bend, they encountered the first awkward situation: a group of ragtag survivors, humans, of all things, huddled around a makeshift camp, their faces gaunt under beards and grime. One, a wiry man with wild eyes, jumped up, brandishing a makeshift plasma cutter. "Who the hell are you? This is our salvage?" Alex froze, his heart skipping. "Humans, out here? Easy," he said, raising his hands. "I'm from Earth too. Name's Alex. We picked up a signal, dangerous one. You folks okay?" The leader, a woman named Kira with cropped hair and a scarred cheek, eyed them suspiciously, her gaze lingering on Zara's ethereal beauty and Vargas's imposing frame. "Earth. You're a long way from home, buddy. And with elves and orcs? This some kinda cosplay rescue?" Zara tilted her head, her pointed ears twitching. "Elves? What is this cosplay?" The misunderstanding hung in the air, awkward and thick, as Vargas snorted. "She calls me an orc. I'd take that as a compliment if it didn't sound so puny." Humor bubbled up unexpectedly, diffusing the standoff. Alex chuckled, rubbing his neck. "Yeah, it's a long story. Think Lord of the Rings meets Star Trek. But seriously, that signal, it's not salvage. It's a parasite, devour a shard. It'll twist you if you don't evac." Kira crossed her arms, her crew murmuring. "We crashed here months ago. That shard powers our life support. Without it, we're dead in the void." Drama escalated as scans confirmed the shard had integrated into the station's core, sustaining the humans while slowly mutating them, subtle changes like glowing veins under their skin, eyes flickering with unnatural light. Negotiations turned tense, Zara's psychic probe revealing the shard's influence, whispering manipulations into their minds. "We must extract it," she urged Alex privately through their bond. "But they won't let go easily." The awkwardness peaked during a shared meal, ration packs heated over a jury-rigged stove, where cultural clashes sparked humor amid the drama. Vargas devoured a protein bar in one bite, belching loudly. "Human food tastes like defeat." One scavenger, a burly guy named Jax, laughed. "Buddy, you eat like my ex-wife's cooking. All fury, no flavor." Zara tried a bite of earth jerky, her face contorting. "This jerky, it fights back." Alex grinned, leaning close. "Welcome to human cuisine. Tough on the outside, rewarding within." Their eyes met, the intimate spark igniting even here, but with an audience, it turned comically awkward when Kira raised an eyebrow. "You two together. Man, space really does make strange bedfellows." As laughter faded, drama crashed back. Alarms blared, the shard activating defenses, corridors sealing as mutated drones twisted amalgamations of metal and flesh swarmed. "It's protecting itself," Mira shouted over comms from the ship. The fight was visceral, heightening every sense. Alex's blade slicing through a drone's tendril, Zara's psychic blasts shattering another, Vargas's axe cleaving a path with roars that echoed like thunder. But awkward mishaps dotted the chaos, Jax slipping on slime from a burst drone, tumbling into Vargas, who caught him mid-fall. "Clumsy human. Stand on your feet, not mine." They pushed to the core, where the shard pulsed like a malignant heart, tendrils latched into the station's systems. Kira, influenced subtly, turned on them momentarily, her eyes glazing. "You can't take it, it's ours." Drama peaked as Alex wrestled her disarmingly, his nanites countering the corruption. "Fight it, Kira. Remember Earth, bad coffee, traffic jams, but freedom," she snapped out, shaking. Damn, felt like a bad hangover. Humor cut through with aliens, worst blind date ever. Zara channeled the bond, Alex joining to overload the shard with diversity essence from the repository's remote link. It shrieked, imploding in a burst of light, the station shuddering. Evacuation was frantic, scavengers piling into the shuttle as bulkheads groaned. "Go, go!" Vargas bellowed, hauling Jax aboard like a sack. Back on the ship, drama simmered as the station crumbled behind them, debris scattering into the nebula. The humans integrated awkwardly, their rough edges clashing with Elysian poise. Kira eyed Zara. "So, you and him, how's that work, anatomically?" Zara blushed, her ears pink. "Quite compatibly." Alex intervened with a laugh. "Let's save the details for later. We've got more shards to hunt." But the twist's echo revealed itself. The shard's purge unlocked data in Alex's nanate's coordinates to the next fragment, buried in a coalition stronghold. They're guarding it unknowingly, he realized. Alliance tensions heightened. Vargas growled approval. "Infiltrate, my specialty." As they plotted, awkward situations arose in quarters, hybrids mimicking human slang poorly, one toddler declaring, "This ship is lit," to baffled Zarathians. Humor lightened the load, but drama loomed. Intercepted comms hinted the Empires suspected their role in the vanishing systems. Zara pulled Alex into a private nook, her body close, intimacy flaring. We face this as one. Their kiss was urgent, curves pressing in promise, but interrupted by a hybrid peeking in. Are you wrestling? They laughed, pulling apart. Something like that, kiddo. The course set for the stronghold, stakes rising, betrayal possible, discoveries imminent. Vargas trained the crew, his drills comically intense. Swing like you mean it, elf girl? Mira retorted, tripping him psychically. Call me elf again, orc. Drama built with each light year, awkward bonds forging into strength, humor the glue holding them against the void's terrors. Scouts reported the stronghold a fortified asteroid base, bristling with cannons. Infiltration plan pose as traitors, with humans as bait. Kira volunteered, her scar twitching. Time to act normal, whatever that is now. Sneaking in, drama exploded when guards scanned Alex, nanites pinging alerts. Anomaly detected. Alarms wailed. Chase ensuing through labyrinthine halls. Awkward evasion, Vargas barreling through a door, only to crash into a mess hall full of off-duty troops. Delivery? He boomed, axe hidden poorly. Humor amid panic, troops staring, one spilling his drink. Biggest pizza guy ever. They fought through, Zara's illusions cloaking them, reaching the vault where the shard masqueraded as a power core. Extracting it triggered mutations, guards twisting into horrors. Climax heightened, Alex overloading it via bond, but it latched onto a hybrid remotely, forcing a psychic duel. Zara anchored him, their unity prevailing. Escaping in a stolen shuttle, base exploding behind, they regrouped. One down, Alex panted. How many more? Data revealed dozens. Drama eternal, but with allies' humor and love, they pressed on. In hyperspace, Zara and Alex shared a quiet moment, bodies entwining tenderly. We'll win, she whispered. He nodded, humor sneaking in. Or die trying awkwardly. The stars awaited, fraught with more. The stars blurred once more as the ship plunged back into hyperspace, leaving the crumbling remnants of the asteroid base as nothing but a fading echo in the void. Alex leaned against the viewport, his reflection mingling with the streaking lights, a quiet satisfaction settling over him like a well-earned rest after a long shift. Zara joined him there, her presence a familiar comfort, her curvaceous form slipping beside his as she wrapped an arm around his waist. The crew's chatter filtered in from the bridge, Mira debating tactics with Kira, Vargas's booming laugh, punctuating some Zarathian joke that had the hybrids giggling in their accelerated innocence. One shard down, Alex murmured, turning to press a kiss to Zara's white hair, inhaling the faint floral scent that always clung to her. But the data points to dozens more. This could take years. She tilted her head up, her emerald eyes reflecting the hyperspace glow, a soft smile playing on her lips. Years with you? I can think of worse fates. Their bond pulsed gently through the rune, a reminder of how far they'd come from crash-landed stranger to intertwined souls, facing cosmic horrors together. The journey had forged them, awkward mishaps and all, into something unbreakable. As the ship emerged near the Coalition's stronghold, a massive orbital fortress orbiting a gas giant, its rings casting shimmering bands across armored hulls, the drama that had defined their path reached its zenith. Sensors lit up with warnings, heavy patrols, energy shields at full, and deep scans probing for anomalies. They're on high alert, Luna reported from her station, her illusions already weaving decoys to mask their approach. Vanishing systems have them spooked. They think it's a weapon test gone wrong. Kira, now fully part of the crew, grinned from her console, her scarred cheek crinkling. Good, let 'em sweat. We'll slip in as refugees, play the lost human card. Vargas snorted. With me along, they'll shoot first, ask later. But the plan held a staged distress signal, drawing a patrol shuttle to rescue them, then infiltration from within. The docking went smoother than expected. The Coalition guards, a mix of tentacled Nithurians and sleek Velquar androids, eyeing the ragtag group with suspicion, but buying the tale of a wrecked scavenger vessel. Inside the fortress, the air hummed with military precision, corridors bustling with personnel from a dozen worlds. Alex felt the hum in his nanites intensify, the shard calling like a siren's song buried deep in the core vaults. Zara's hand brushed his, their psychic link sharing a silent strategy: split up, gather intel, converge on the target. Awkward situations arose almost immediately, lightened by the humor that had become their lifeline. Posing as Kira's crew, Alex and Zara navigated a security checkpoint where a Netherian scanner operator waved its tentacles inquisitively. Species scan human male, Elysian female compatibility high. The translator glitched, rendering the query in a comically formal tone. Zara's ears flushed pink. That's not relevant to entry. The guard paused, then chuckled a wet, bubbling sound. Apologies. Database notes interspecies bonds strengthen alliances. Proceed and good luck. Vargas, meanwhile, caused a scene in the mess hall, his massive frame accidentally knocking over a table of Velquar synth food. Your portions are insults, he bellowed as androids scrambled to clean up. Jax, the burly scavenger, clapped him on the back. Easy, big guy. It's not a feast, it's fuel. The mishap drew eyes away from Mira, who slipped into maintenance ducts, her sapphire gaze focused on hacking access codes. Deeper in, drama unfolded in layers. They discovered the shard wasn't just guarded, it was being studied, coalition scientists poking at its malignant energy, unaware of its true nature. In a lab overlook, Alex and Zara watched through a vent as a lead researcher, a ethereal Aurala's being with glowing skin, noted mutations in test subjects. This could revolutionize bioweapons, it intoned. Zara's face hardened. They're feeding it, unknowingly. We end this now. The extraction turned into a whirlwind of action, heightening every beat of their hearts. Alarms wailed as Mira triggered a diversion, illusory fires spreading through halls while Vargas charged security teams, his axe a blur of redemption. Alex and Zara breached the vault, the shard pulsing like a trapped star, tendrils lashing out. It latched onto Alex first, the hum exploding into a roar in his mind, visions of devoured worlds flooding him. It's trying to reclaim me, he gasped, staggering. Zara anchored him, her body pressing close amid the chaos, channeling the tribe's essence through their bond now extended to the crew via hybrid links. Draw from us all, she urged, her curves a solid presence against his trembling form. The diversity overwhelmed the shard, human grit, Elysian grace, Zarathian fury, even the scavenger's raw survival instinct. It imploded with a silent scream, the fortress shaking as systems glitched. Escape was a thrilling blur, stolen shuttles racing through cannon fire, the ships scooping them up in a daring maneuver. As hyperspace enveloped them again, cheers erupted on the bridge. The hybrids swarmed Alex, their tiny hands patting him reassuringly. You did it, father figure, one piped up, drawing laughs. But this shard's data revealed the truth, not dozens, but a finite chain, leading to the Devourer's core nexus in a forgotten sector. One final hunt, Alex said, pulling Zara into his arms. The crew rallied, alliances solidifying into family. The nexus awaited in a derelict megastructure, a ringworld remnant orbiting a black hole, gravity tides warping reality. Drama peaked as they dove in, shards converging like moths to flame. The Devourer manifested a swirling vortex of shadow and stolen forms, whispering temptations through psychic assaults. Join me, hosts. Become eternal. Battles raged across crumbling platforms, Vargas cleaving manifestations, Mira and Luna weaving defenses, Kira's crew providing covering fire. Awkward humor surfaced, even here, a hybrid toddler accidentally psychically tripping a shadow beast, tumbling it into the void. Oopsie, the child giggled. At the core, Alex and Zara confronted the entity, their bond the ultimate weapon. It targeted their connection, flooding them with illusions of betrayal. Zara turning away, Alex consumed. But love anchored them. This ends, Alex declared, nanites surging as Zara amplified with Elysian rights. They poured diversity into it, every species, every story diluting its hunger until it frayed, dissolving into harmless echoes. The ringworld stabilized, the black hole's pull easing as the threat vanished. Victory washed over them, profound and sweet. Back on the ship, celebrations flowed, wines from Elysia, roasts from Zarathia, human tales spun with laughter. Vargas clasped Alex's shoulder. You turned enemies to kin. Honorable. As alliances spread, Elysia opened to the galaxy, hybrids bridging worlds. Alex and Zara returned home first, the bunker now a thriving city under dual suns. They stood on a balcony, overlooking fields where children hybrid and pure played, white hair mingling with diverse traits. You changed everything, Zara whispered, her body leaning into his, curves fitting perfectly as always. He kissed her deeply, the rune glowing one last time before fading into a warm scar. We did, and whatever comes next together. Years passed in peace, their story becoming legend, the human who fell from stars, the Elysian who pulled him into her world, forging a galaxy united. Explorations beckoned, but home was here, in each other's arms, under eternal skies. In quiet nights they'd steal away, intimacies evolving into timeless rituals, bodies exploring with familiar passion, laughter echoing at old memories. Remember when Vargas called me an elf? She'd tease, her ears twitching under his touch. Or when the hybrid said we were wrestling? He'd reply, drawing her close. Their love endured, a beacon against the dark, proving humanity's spirit could conquer even the void. As elders, they watched their descendants venture out, carrying the bond's legacy. Alex's final words, whispered to Zara as stars wheeled above, no regrets. You were my greatest adventure. She held him, tears mingling with smiles. And you mine. The end came softly, but their tale lived on, inspiring worlds to embrace the unknown with courage, humor, and unbreakable connections.